Okay, welcome to lesson 5.2. This is consumer decisions. We're going to be identifying wise buying strategies and describing what to consider when making wise buying decisions. So the business decision making process can be applied to making wise decisions as a consumer. Good buying strategies involve comparison shopping. That is comparing unit prices. You can compare quality and services associated with one product to that of another. To compare a unit price, you can take, there's a formula that you can use. You would take the total price of the item and divide it by the measurement of the item. So, for example, if you were comparing two products that were similar, but maybe difference in the measurement. So you're trying to figure out which one's the better deal. You would take your total price and divide it by what the measurement is to figure out which one is the better option for you. You can also compare quality. So sometimes cheaper isn't always better, isn't always the way to go. So if you had a couple items that you were looking at, they were pretty similar, but one's cheaper than the other, you could compare those two items, and maybe you find that the cheaper one doesn't have as good a quality as the one that's more pricier. Maybe it offers more features. So always take a look at that. And it could go the other way as well. Sometimes, you can find something very comparable at a lower price, but you can use that to compare quality. So you can also compare services. With comparing services as a consumer, so if you had a couple businesses that you were looking at to provide a service, maybe some business offer cash only, where another business was offering some sort of line of credit to the consumer. Or another example would be where one business would offer free delivery versus the other business was going to charge for delivery. So those are some of the ways that you can compare services. And then you can also consider the sales. So let's take a look what that means. So there's different types of sales. There's a promotional sale. Those are typically found in new stores that are trying to promote their store and their products. And then there's also clearance sales, and those are normally end of season or out of date merchandise that they're lowering the price on to try and get out of the store so they can move in newer merchandise. And then there's also special purchase sales. That's typically usually like overstock items. So if like a store purchased a large amount, then they could run a special purchase sale on it, or it could be items that are no longer made. So that would be those types of sales. And then wise buying decisions. So when you are buying as a consumer, you need to consider the business's reputation. Consider brand names. Types of stores. Is it an online store only? Is it a retail store? Is it a wholesale store? Timing. So timing would be like, when can you get the best for your money? So, for example, cars are normally cheaper, usually around September at the end of the model year. And another example would be like clothing, usually in January, right after Christmas. Normally the stores will mark down all of their winter clothing, trying to get rid of it. If you've ever been in a store in January, normally you can go in there and they have their summer clothes out already. So that's usually when you can find the best deals on winter clothes. So knowing the timing of when to purchase a product is another thing that consumers need to consider when making a purchase. Okay, so that's the end of Unit 5.2. One more unit to go in this chapter, so continue on to the next video. Okay, thanks.